Hi friends, welcome to Scrappin' It Up. I'm Vanessa, and this is part 2 of the Love and Adore tutorial, and it's all made out of file folders, and it is, the spine is reinforced with Tyvek. You can't see it, but it's in there. So, the last video we cut all our file folders, so this time we are going to get our spine made and some of our hinges made. So let's get to it. Okay, and you will need, I had told you in the other video that you needed 6 file folders. You will need one more file folder, and it doesn't matter if it's top, bottom, or middle. We're going to use it for some hinges. So what we need to do first is get our file folder out. And better get it squared up first. And at 11. That's how big our album is. Okay. Now we need a piece of file folder that is 3 3/4 by 11. So 3 3/4 by 11. And I'm going to go ahead and cut, let's see, I'll just go ahead and cut this side. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut that tab off because I don't need that tab. So we'll cut it off. Okay. Now we need it 3 3/4. Just like that. And then while we got our cutter out, your pieces that you had left over, we're going to make some hinges like this that are 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch and then scored in the middle. This is what's going to put our file folders together. You will need 7 of these. And I've done 5 of them here. I need to do 2 more. I thought I'd do it on camera to show you guys. Just to kind of save a little bit of time. So your bigger pieces that you have in your thing, you want to save those. So you can use your, see how that one's smaller than this one? You can go ahead. Your bigger ones, set those aside. So like this one right here, we're going to make 2 hinges out of this. So what you're going to do is this fold here, you want it to be on the outside. So facing that way. And just put it on your 1/2 inch. It's a little bit tricky to do. There we go. So 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Okay, so then when we cut that, we happen to have one right here, and then here's another one. We'll cut it down to 1 inch because we'll probably need it. I can't remember if we need 7 or 8 of these. So now we've got these. And put your cutter away. Okay, now, so on these here, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. And just going to be right down the middle. And I always go twice. And you never want to be straight up and down. You always want to kind of be at an angle, because otherwise you're going to go all the way through. Okay. That's those hinges. So now, get your piece that you just cut that's 3 3/4 by 11. And what we're going to do, this is making our hinge system that goes into our binding. And this that I am making right here is part of the Kathy Orta's hidden hinge system. It's just a little bit different. I mean, it's on the basics of Kathy Orta's King hidden hinge. So we're going to do 1/2 inch. Then we're going to do 1/4 inch. So you're going to do 1/2 inch, then at 3/4 of an inch, which you're just doing, you're going to have a 1/4 inch gusset. Okay. Now we're going to do 1/2 inch, which that is at 1 1/4. Then another 1/2 inch, which is going to be 1 3/4. And you want to hang on to this. You don't want this to be getting off on you. Okay. So then 1/4 inch. So you're going to score at 2 inches. And then 1/2 inch, which is 2 1/2. And then score at 3. And then you're going to score at 3 1/4. Okay, so we scored at 1/2 inch. We scored at we scored 1/2 inch, and then 3/4 inch, then 1 1/4, then 1 3/4 inch, and then at 2, 2 1/2, 3, and then 1/4 inch. Okay, and what we're doing here is making hinges so our file folders can attach to this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you have 1/2 inch and 1/4, and then you have 1/2. On this first, start over here. On your second 1/2 inch, so you have 1/2 inch, 1/4, 1/2 inch. On the second 1/2 inch, we are going to attach our score pile tape to it. And you want to you don't want to get outside your score lines, because that's going to throw your hinge off. You want to stay right in the middle. And I'm using 3/8 is what I'm using. You can use whatever. You could use 1/4 and 1/4, just as long as you stay within your score lines. You don't want to get outside your score lines. Okay. Now, where you just put the tape, you've got 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch, and then 1/2 inch. So in this 1/2 inch right here, we are going to put our score pile tape, just like we did just a second ago. And I hope you're not seeing the top of my head, but I bet you are. Didn't even think about that. Okay. So this is what it should look like right now. You've got your 1/2, 1/4, 1/2, and we put our score pile tape on. 1/2, 1/4, and then another 1/2, and we put our score pile tape. Okay, now what you're going to do is this line, score line right here after your score pile tape, you're going to fold on that. And I just kind of burnish it just a little bit. And you want to make sure that you're straight and that you're not kind of going cockeyed. So if you're kind of going cockeyed, you know, just make sure you're straight here and straight here. And if you're straight, pull her back and take off your tape and stick her down. Then you're going to lightly pull back on this, just like this. Just right along that score line right here, you're just pulling back. Okay? Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to, the score line right after your score pile tape, we're going to fold on that. I'm just going to kind of give her a light burnish. Okay. And take it back and take our score pile tape off and stick her down. And then pull back on it. Just right where this score line is, right here, you're just pulling back. And then flip it over. And you're just going to kind of crease that score line right here. You're just going to kind of pull these back, just like that. Now you will feel a little bit of resistance in this until we kind of work the fibers down just a little bit. So I just kind of work it, pressing down, keep folding on those. Okay, now you have your another score line on both sides, which should be your 1/4 inch. Let's see if I can show you. You have score line right here on both sides. So what you're gonna do, you're just gonna kind of fold up on those. Once you got that, then flip it over and burnish it. Do the same thing to the other side. Find your 1/4 inch and turn it over and burnish. You want to work these fibers and break them down just a little bit, is what we're doing here. So it's not quite so stiff, because right now it's pretty stiff. Okay. Now what you're going to do is I'm going to grab my 1/4 inch score pile tape, and I'm going to attach tape to these hinges, and you want to stay closer to the top of your hinge. Just a second, I'll show you what that looks like here real quick. Just like that. You want to you don't want to get down to the score line right here, because your page is going to be fitting on here, and you don't want your score pile tape to be showing. So you want it closer to the end of your hinge here. Okay, do both sides. Just like that. And do your other side. And it may take a little bit to get this. It takes a little bit to get the hang of this. Okay, so now I've got those. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just notch these just a little bit down to that score line. Just like that. You don't want to go past your score line. This is just where it makes it easier for your file folders to fit on here. Okay, just like that. And see, now we have our 4 hinges. Just like that. And our file folders will fit on these. Just like that. Okay. Now what you're going to do is, I already cut this is my tie back piece, and it's measuring 1 3/4 by 11. So 1 3/4 by 11. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to tape this on the back of this back side of this hinge. So we'll put our score pile tape on our tie back, and this just helps with the binding of your book. It just makes it last a lot longer. It just helps it, gives it more stability. And it helps protect it too. Because this stuff here will never rip or tear. And this is just Tyvek that you find at the office supply store. Or, you know, you might have received something in the mail that had your mail in a Tyvek envelope. Okay. Now I've got that all done. Okay. So now I'm going to take my tape off. And attach this to the back side of this hinge. Okay. Keeps sticking to me. I'm just going to kind of line it up, try and line her up best that you can. Harder said than done. Kind of line it up. Got off. Dang it. While I have it here, I'm just going to go with it. That score pal tape, once it sticks down, it's down. Then I just burnish it. And that won't hurt, that it's not. But the main part that you're worried about is your 3/4 inch spine. In a second, I'll show you guys. Need to reinforce this a little bit here. Get that to bend back on my 1/4 inch score line again. Okay. And what that does, that reinforces your spine now. Just like that, because there's our spine over a book. So that reinforces it. Okay. Okay, that we will end this video here, and I will be back with another one, and that's our spine for our book. Okay, I'll be back here in a little while. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye.